Happy Sunday, YouTube. This is my fourth day here for the 2019 Axe Cordwood Challenge. This was a tree that I selected that was actually in my wood yard. It's a sassafras tree, and it was troubled. Looked like it was diseased or some kind of boring insect got it because it had a big canker up on the top, and this is the stump. It was kind of rotted from the inside, so rather than this thing just hollow out from the inside and possibly fall, I mean, it wasn't that big of a tree, but you know, why have it around when you can do something about it? And it was easy access for me because I really can't be going into the woods. I know I've mentioned before about my injury and surgery. You probably see me wearing my leg brace, but what I had is in July of last year I had a complete ACL tear, and I had reconstructive surgery at the end of October, so I'm almost 4 months, and my progress is going great, as a matter of fact. And in case anybody's wondering, I have been cleared to do physical activity, and you know, I usually wear my brace. I'm actually not right now because I felled the tree yesterday. Kind of went all the way up there, and some of it's still left hanging up there. I can't quite get it out, but it's not much wood, so I don't really care. But I did the majority of that yesterday and dragged them all down the hill. It wasn't that far up, but I was wearing my brace for then. So today I'm just finishing the bucking here on flat ground. I'm not doing a lot of moving or torquing my leg, so I decided to forego the brace today. My leg's feeling pretty good anyways. I'm actually going to be doing my jogging training regimen here soon. Anyway, I'm yammering. Today I'm using another one of my favorite axes. This is a Holtzbruck Vera pattern that a friend of mine that I met on Reddit, the AxeCraft subreddit. I'm not going to give his real name, but his username is Son of Tremsbo. And we did a trade last year. I traded him a Collins double bit American, and he gave me this vintage Holtzbruck. And I like vintage axes, and I like Swedish axes. Actually, I like a lot of things from Sweden in general, but this thing is just I always say this axe is great. About 1 kilogram, so it's about 2 1/4 pounds on a 28-inch haft that I thinned out considerably. This is the only axe I've used to do this tree, and it's getting along pretty well. Maybe a little bit of a heavier axe could have got a little bit better, but I don't know. I just wanted to use this one. So, whoops. So this is what I've got so far from a 60-foot tree. I just got 2 more these log segments to finish bucking and splitting, and then I'm gonna go ahead and stack. And fortunately, I don't have that far to take it. All right. Oops. I hate when it rolls around on me like that. So annoying. There goes the wood pile. I never chopped sassafras before. It smells great. It's got a kind of a spicy herbal smell to it. Very aromatic. Kind of like root beer, but a little bit different. And I know most trees usually drop their sap in the autumn. There's a lot of sap in this one. Let's look at that. You can't even see the Holtbrook logo. It's just kind of glazed over. That's all sap. Ta-da! Alright, there we have it. It's all stacked. My progress thus far. So I think I'm a little over 1 rick. That's about, I think, 10 feet by 4 feet tall. 10 feet long by 4 feet tall. And I'm going to try to stack the rest of that there. That'll be 2 ricks worth. So, provided that, I don't know, if I had 2 foot lengths and logs, that would be a full cord, but I don't know. I might measure the longest and the shortest logs and just find, or like take 3 samples, find the median of those, and factor that as the depth of the stack to try to calculate the cubic footage. My goal was to do a cord, which is 128 cubic feet, but I just got to figure out where else I'm going to stack it. Maybe over there. Not really sure, but I'm pretty happy with my progress thus far. This is a good selection of wood here. It's all, well, not all. It's ash, white ash, cherry, black cherry, white ash, black cherry, and the latest addition is some sassafras. I love saying that, sassafras. So, good selection of wood. Okay, back in the shop now. Gonna work on a couple of projects, axe related. I was outside after I finished stacking the wood. I went out and cleaned up all those wood chips from the past 3 weeks. It looked like crap, and my wife wasn't complaining, but you know, she asked if I would clean it up, and I said I would. As they say, happy wife, happy life, right? So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to finish up a project that I started last night, but I did end up just getting too tired and stopped, and that is I had to touch up the grind on my my Kelly Perfect jersey here. Another thing I did too is I decided I wanted to shorten the handle, and this one I carved it down from the original handle that I got for it, which was a 32-inch straight shaft, but I took it down to 30 inches. I chopped it down another 2 inches and thinned it out using a spoke shave and a rasp, a 4-in-1 or 4-in-hand rather. Couldn't do much of a palm swell, but I don't really know that that's really that big of a deal, because I'm pretty used to using my Basque axe, which just doesn't have a lot of a palm swell at all. So I think we'll be okay. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll just rehang it. I mean, how many times have I done this? It's no big deal. But this is another one of my favorite axes I like to use too. It's a Kelly Perfect jersey. I just had to touch the bit up. Started doing some of that last night too. I just got too tired, and probably not a good thing to do when you're you know, hovering over something that's really sharp. But I guess I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I have myself an adult beverage that I earned from a day's hard work. I'm enjoying that. This is a Interstellar Pale Ale is what it's called. And I guess while I'm here too, I can show you something else that I'm getting ready to send out to Sweden. I have a friend of mine I mentioned earlier that I met on Reddit. He's the one who initiated the trade with my my prized Holtzbrook Vera pattern. I traded him a double bit for this one, and I really love this axe. I used that pretty much for to do that sassafras tree yesterday and today, using only this axe that I restored. And this time I'm going to send him. He doubles are hard to find over there, he tells me, and but he wanted I sent him a double once, and he wanted a cruiser, which is a smaller one, kind of like a smaller companion axe to the full-size double that he has. Unfortunately, I was able to find one. A friend of mine found it at a farm auction. This is a, if you can see here, it's kind of hard to tell. This camera is not the best. It's anyway, it's a Sager Warren Axe and Tool Company from Warren, Pennsylvania. My wife's grandfather, who is a historian, tells me that before William J. Sager bought them, they were known as Brookville Axe and Tool Company, which is where he currently lives. And then when they were bought by by Sager, they moved operations to Warren, Pennsylvania, which is a little farther north near the Allegheny River, where there was a lot of logging activity going on at that time. So this is a really cool piece here. It was originally said it was 2.5 pounds, but I weighed it. It's about 2 1/4. So it's been used and it's been ground down, and you lost about 4 ounces of material. But I think you really like it. He's trading me for this, a really cool old Holtzbrook collared Swedish axe, and I just think that those are just so neat. And now I will have a chance to get one. And I don't know, I love Swedish axes. I love a lot of things from Sweden. I mean, I'm listening to a Swedish heavy metal right now, if you can hear it in the background. But I was really excited to receive that. I am going to have to carve a handle for it, because if you do a Google search there, you'll see that that halves for those are bygone. There we go, 30 inches long, newly sharpened, True Temper Kelly Perfect 3.5 pound Jersey axe. This is a very, very, very good axe. So you might be asking, why did I shorten it from 32 to 30? Well, handle length has a lot to do with how you use the axe. I disregarded the whole, I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'1", not freakishly tall, but I'm slightly taller than average. The old trope about long handle for a tall guy is just bogus. All right, it has to do with how you're using this axe. Now, this is I use this axe for felling, and I like using this axe for bucking. Now, when I was bucking with this, I noticed that I was spending a lot of time trying to not hit the dirt, and if I'm bucking on the ground. So I figured, I wanted to shorten it up a little bit. And here's why. Let me go ahead and put this down. And let me just get a frame of reference real quick. Okay. So if I am standing on the ground bucking a log, it's right in front of me. If this thing, right now at 30 inches, it is basically just barely bending over, right? So it's not touching the ground. Do my bucking cuts. Alright, I can bend my knees a little bit to get a little power and just skirt the ground so I don't, put my bit in the dirt and dull it. Now, if it was longer, I had to stand back a bit and kind of do my cuts at a slight angle rather than, almost perpendicular to the ground, which is where I prefer to do it. That's why I shortened it up. Alright? And honestly, for felling, I am finding that shorter is better than longer when doing your felling, your face cuts and your back cuts. I'm not saying that a long handle it was good in certain situations. Maybe if you're standing atop a plank felling a giant redwood, I guess a long handle will be useful then, but I'm not doing any of that. I'm just felling trees that I have access to, and I find that shorter is better than longer. What length that is kind of depends. My favorite felling axe is my Waragi Basque axe, which is on a 25-inch handle. All right, I believe that's 65 centimeters. So yeah, that's why I shortened it up. And I'm really excited to use this. I'll probably use this next weekend to hopefully finish my 2 ricks. Okay, that's all I have. You guys enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Happy chopping.